Gamlehaugen is a royal castle in Bergen, Norway, and the residence of the Norwegian royal family in the city. Gamlehaugen has a history that goes as far back as the Middle Ages. And the list of previous owners includes many of the wealthiest men in Bergen. Today owned by the Norwegian state, the most recent private owner was Christian Michelsen, a politician and shipping magnate who later became the first Prime Minister of Norway after the dissolution of the union between Sweden and Norway. Michelsen commissioned the construction of the current main building at Gamlehaugen, where he would live for most of the rest of his life. When Michelsen died in 1925, his closest friends and colleagues started a national fundraising campaign that brought in enough money to allow the Norwegian state to purchase the property. The large English park was opened to the public the same year, and the ground floor of the house was opened as a museum 2 years later. Gamlehaugen has been the Norwegian royal family's residence in Bergen since 1927. Gamlehaugen Castle in Bergen, Norway. Gamlehaugen was the site of a farm as early as the Middle Ages. But it was abandoned as a result of the Black Death. In 1665, it once again became farmland, as part of the larger Fjosanger manor. In 1809, Gamlehaugen was separated from Fjosanger. Marie Krone, the niece of Dankert Dankertsen Krone, who had owned Fjosanger until his death in 1795, built a mansion at Gamlehaugen. A Schack Stenberg purchased Gamlehaugen in 1838. In 1864, Alexander Boll, the son of the violinist Ole Boll, bought the property. However, he sold it to coppersmith Ole Andreas Gundersen only 2 years later. The last owner who operated Gamlehaugen as a farm was the merchant Anton Moore, who bought it in 1878. When he died in 1890, his widow, Alethi Moore, sold the property to a pair of artisans from Bergen. However, she was allowed to continue using the property and the main building due to a clause in the sale contract. In 1898, Christian Michelsen, a politician and shipping magnate, bought the property. He demolished the existing main building, a Swiss chalet-style mansion, and ordered the construction of a new building in the style of a Scottish baronial-style castle. The architect was Jens Zetlitz Monrad Kieland, who would later draw the Bergen railway station and the brick buildings at Bergen. The construction was finished in 1900, and Michelsen with family moved in the next year. He delegated the task of converting the farmlands surrounding the building into a park to gardener Olav Moen, who designed it as an English park. Barring his years as Prime Minister of Norway from 1905 to 1907, Christian Michelsen lived at Gamlehaugen for the remainder of his life. The main building seen from the northwest. Following Michelsen's death in 1925, his closest friends and colleagues initiated a national fundraising campaign that sought to collect the money needed for the state to purchase Gamlehaugen, as well as create a fund to pay for the costs of operation and maintenance. While the campaign did not raise the goal of 1 million NOK, the state did nevertheless buy the property. The fund eventually ran dry, and the state has paid for the upkeep since 1965. Gamlehaugen was renovated between 1989 and 1991 in preparation for Harald V and Queen Sonja's first visit as king and queen consort. Crown Prince Haakon resided at the mansion while he attended the Royal Norwegian Naval Academy in the 1990s. That is all. Subscribe and post comments for future videos.